in the Torah, we have a phrase, good success. And we are told how a person achieves good success. And I think it's very noteworthy to see the fact that we don't just hear the word success, but connect it to success in the Bible, in the Torah, is the idea of that which is good. And that's what's promised to us who follow Torah. So Joshua is the son of Nun, and he is the successor of Moses, who is obviously known as our great lawgiver, even though it was Yah who gave us the Torah. Moses was our great leader, and when he died, he then, his successor was Joshua. And the very first thing, matter of fact, this is in Joshua chapter 1, the very first thing that Yah talks to Joshua about is how to have good success in the land that was promised to them, and how this good success would be achieved. And so that's what I want to talk about today in our meditation. I want to talk about the fact that the laws of Yah were already established among our people in what is called an oral fashion. So we know that there was the laws of Yah in the garden. We had the instructions of Yah how to be successful in the garden. We also saw the instructions of Yah given for success with Noah. And then we also know that there were words spoken. The spoken Torah was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we know all that. But when we got out of Egypt, which was bondage, and that's why we're doing these quick videos, to help us as a post-captivity people become successful as we move into the place of promise, or our promised land. And during that journey is the possibility of being or having good success during the process. And so what we got in Moses, and the reason why his writings are that he's such an important figure, is because we got things in a written form, which from now on we're going to know as the book of the law. So before we just had the spoken Torah, but now we've been given a book. We've been given the book of the law, the book of Torah, the Sefer, the actual written down law, Torah. And of course, Moses, over a 40-year period, wrote it, and he passed it to Joshua, and then Yah tells Joshua that your key to success, to good success, is keeping this book of the law. So now we're not just talking about what people say is oral tradition now. Now we're actually talking about the oral tradition that has been written down in a book. And the very first step, he said, is that, and this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, which is a Hebraic phrase that simply means that, well, let's do the obvious. Number one, in order for it not to depart from your mouth, it first has to be in your mouth. And it's a picture of really in your heart. You have to know it. It first has to be inside of you. And so at this time, our ancestors knew the Torah. They knew the written law, the verbal that was put written. They knew it because they had rehearsed it over and over and over again during the journey. So the very first step then in good success is knowing what the law says, knowing what's in it, and actually having the book of the law in your hand. Knowing it not only as a book, but you get to know it as the principles of the Torah. And then it must be guarded. Of course, the idea of not letting it depart is another Hebraic phrase, which means that we have to make sure that we keep it safe. It's not like the book wants to run away. I know most of you don't think that, but I just want to make that clear. No, the idea is if we don't keep the Torah by putting a gate around our hearts and putting it in our heart and putting it in our mind and our soul where it becomes a part of life, then time and situations and circumstances will oftentimes cause us to forget the Torah, or even in some instances, which is even worse, we will say things like, it's been done away with. We don't need it anymore. That's old, and we're now in the new. And he says that we should never let it leave. Now let's use this idea, or let's look at the idea of the mouth. So why does he say out of your mouth? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the idea is to have the Torah in your heart in abundance. And the way you will know that a person has Torah in their heart in abundance is how they are constantly living, communicating the Torah in everything they do. Which again, let me just, for those of you watching for the first time, Torah is the instructions of Yah to his people. All right, then we have this word. He says that, but you shall meditate on them. And because I'm keeping each of these videos short, I'm not going to get totally to the end, but I'm going to mention a few keywords, and then we'll pick this up tomorrow. The very first word that we want to look at, he says that you are to meditate. Meditate. And it is the idea, one of the most simple ideas behind meditate is to sort of hum or mutter to yourself. It's the idea of when you're thinking about something and you're having a very deep thought about it, and you go like or wow, and that's the picture. It's the idea that your mind is on it so much that it begins to produce a sound. In the animal kingdom, we have at least two examples of it. We see the idea of meditation when a lion, say for instance, is about to take prey. So what happens is the lion already knows what he needs to do, and he knows he got to feed his family, or she has whatever. And what they do is when they're still, they'll start to make a small, you can hear them making a sound like, And then, of course, they get into that mode, and their mind is focused on the prey at that point. So the sound that they make during that time, that internal turning in, I can't think of the word that they say, the sort of purring that is taking place is helping them enter into a meditative state. And they're focused on one thing, and that is, I need to get that prey. You also see it in other forms. Meditation is when, of course, you've seen this illustration where if you see animals grazing, the animals like cows and sheep and goat, they have more than one stomach. So they regurgitate what they eat. So they eat it, and then as it goes into one stomach, because it's like grass, hard to digest, they bring it back up. It's chewed again, over and over again, and swallowed and chewed until every bit that they can distract from the grass is actually used for nutrients and turned into energy to build muscles and everything else that they need to survive. So you have two pictures. And so the way an animal looks at and processes food takes focus, but it also takes meditation. And that is the way we have to be concerning the Torah. It is our life. It is our food source. It is that which gives us what we need to be successful. So that's why I wanted to talk about that meditation thing, because the idea of meditate having to do with murmuring or speech or musing means that as we approach the Torah in meditation, one, we have to know it. And then second, we have to rehearse it so much that it becomes this word is being used, is not used well for us, but it becomes our mantra. It becomes what we hum. We don't meditate and open our minds to nothing. So success has to do with having our mind fixed. I was trying to think of a way to apply it today, and I'm gonna leave it with this. People say, I don't know how to meditate. Can you teach me how to meditate? How you treat social media and your cell phone, that's meditation. When you just go doing this all day, and somebody has to literally like move you to do something different. Yeah. Hey, we getting ready to go grab something to eat. All right, I'll be in a minute. What are you doing? You're musing over it. And if you watch a person closely, you will see that they will do all of the meditative expressions while they're online. They'll be like, wow. And if they go find something, they hear a tune that they like. So I say, what's happening? Oh, nothing. Then I just saw something that just reminded me of this song it's one of my favorite songs. And they do it all day. Day and night. Day and night. That is a modern picture of meditation. Now, meditating with this, obviously, is not going to get you anything. We won't go into that. But if you took the same type of energy and dedication and focus toward learning the Torah, as you would be going through the pages, you would also notice that there's history and there's songs and there's melodies and there's instruction for life. And people will see you reading and you're like, what's going on? And it's because you found that meditative place. And he says, and you do that day and night. That's also echoed in Psalm. When you get to Psalm chapter, matter of fact, the very first Psalm, I think in the second verse, it says, and in his law do I meditate both day and night. And it goes on to talk about, it should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. That's not the focus for today. But even King David understood that good success begins with a working knowledge of Torah and a meditation on the Torah and a guarding of the Torah, so that no matter what happens in life, Torah never escapes us. That's the foundation for good success.